Deep Dive with David Stendhal, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David Stendhal with tonight's Deep Dive. It is July 2nd, 2018, and I thought I'd take a look at sugar, the ETF being CANE, C-A-N-E. And the reason for that is there's a major drop here today. I'll go through some of the particulars. We've got a mixed bag here when it comes to the trends. Short-term to the downside, no surprise. Intermediate and long-term, well, actually intermediate is to the upside, long-term is to the downside. Definitely a mixed bag. We have the technicals still positive, but you'll see here in a second that it's barely positive. There's nothing that's showing up here with any of the overbought and oversold indicators yet, but that is looming. Now, when it comes to the patterns, we actually have here sugar, a day's low that is triggering the potential for reversal. Now, the dazed is always one of the patterns that triggers early on in that particular process of the reversal, and so that's more of a precursor for something that is looming out there as well. And the best way to really look at sugar is to look at a chart here, and you can see with today's action, here is daily bars. Here's sugar having a massive sell-off here today, down almost down 5.8%, and it broke away from its in this case 50-day moving average, and is now approaching the major support that we have to the market. So that day's low, I'll just show this to you here so you can see it. The day's low triggered here today, but it's really looking at the general area for the support to the market, and that support level as it stands right now is at 1135. That's your key number to be watching. This on the October contract, so that we're talking the same language. So here is major support. It came down. It's not there yet on the low or the close. That day's low is telling us that, hey, the market has moved really far very, very quickly, that it would be looking for some type of a reversal. But in this case, because it's so early in the phase, I think that it's not going to be a reversal. It's just going to be the early stages of a basing to the market, and then we would kind of review what's actually taking place with the market. So in our particular case, we are short the market, and quite heavily. We've got 4 or 5 systems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems, and one of which triggered here today. But the other systems have been short for a while in varying phases here. Some weekly systems that have been short for a while, some daily systems that have been short for a while, some intraday systems that have been short, and then obviously this 120-minute that triggered here today. So we've got a nice open position profit. The trend has been up and down, all over the place for the most part in recent periods, but that sell-off today has been quite nice. Here is the trend to the downside, the up, and now the down, so that we've actually are looking for this crescendo effect with the market coming down to this 1135 level. And if we're able to base here, well, that would be good. Then we'd see some of our systems start to unwind themselves, but we're kind of in a wait-and-see type operation. The other thing that I wanted to show to you was the energy level. Here is sugar number 11. That's domestic sugar, as opposed to London sugar, which is a little bit higher up here. But London sugar had been, and I was going to do a deep dive over the course of the weekend, but I got sidetracked a little bit. But the sugar domestic, that is, was actually very, very low, and it's starting to inch back higher with this consolidation that had been underway. So what you'll see is that the number will change tonight. This is as of Friday. You'll see that the consolidation that had been underway is obviously broken way. Here's that consolidation to the downside. So you'll see that that energy level will actually start changing here. And what we would anticipate with sugar is some type of a basing off of this support level, and if for some reason we should just kind of break right through it, and I don't know if that's really going to happen, but if that should, then we'll maintain our short positions. But I would suspect that we're going to see some type of a basing into this 1135 level, and we'll have yet another condition in our energy level, coming back to this chart, where we'll start to see another form of consolidation, then in theory another explosive move, perhaps to the upside. So for those of you that are short the market or following the systems as they are right now, we're still looking for a little more continuation down to the 1135 level, and from that perspective, or from that angle, then we'll start to see as whether or not the systems are going to actually start to reverse course, unwind, start taking some profits, or depending upon how it comes down to this support level, if it starts to break through, then they'll maintain what they already have. So I'm really kind of showing sugar from this perspective. Watch sugar, because if you're short like the systems are, that 1135 level is really going to come into play quite closely here. And for any reason we break through it, then great. If not, then look for the opportunities to unwind certain positions. So I would suspect that we're going to see more and more signals start to pop up here on the deep dive, and that would then give us more of an opportunity to unwind more and more of the positions, and then start to go flat the market. So watch your sugar. We're doing well in it. I couldn't be more pleased with the systems, and we will take a look at some more markets during the course of the week, and it's just dependent upon how things kind of play out, whether or not we'll be doing some of these deep dives tomorrow and or Wednesday on the holiday. But we will be doing some more. The other thing I want to point out is that we've begun the process of doing some of these signal insight videos, and so look for those as well, and they will take a particular subject matter and in relatively quick order, as best as I can, because I can be long-winded, maybe 5 or 10 minute long presentations on a particular subject, something that will go into a little more detail and clarify some of the questions that I get. And from that perspective, we've begun that process. We'll start uploading some of those videos as quickly as we can. And if you have questions, something that is on the website, something I do in the deep dive, some question that isn't really being addressed well enough that you feel that really needs and requires some clarification, just email me at the on the website under the contact page, and what we will do is put that on the to-do list and start creating some of these signal insights that will address a very specific subject, 5-10 minute long. Get in, explain it, get out, and from that perspective, we've begun that process, and we'll start loading some of those videos up here very shortly. So I appreciate you watching, and we will look at some more markets soon enough.